My fiancé cheated 2 weeks before our wedding, and my revenge party went, hey, I've been lurking here forever. But this is my first time posting. I'm still reeling from what happened, and I need to vent and get some perspective. This is a long one. Grab a snack because it's a roller coaster. I'm 29F and my ex-fiancé, Jake 31M, turned my dream wedding into a nightmare. What I did next shocked everyone, and I'm still figuring out if I went too far or not far enough. Here's the whole story. How we got here: Jake and I met 4 years ago at a friend's summer barbecue. He was the guy flipping burgers, cracking jokes, and flashing this dimpled smile that made my knees weak. We bonded over our love for 90s alt-rock, spicy food, and cheesy rom-coms. He was thoughtful, leaving me little notes on my fridge, planning spontaneous road trips, even helping my mom with her garden when she broke her ankle. I thought, this is it. This is my person. We moved in together after a year, and last summer he proposed on a beach at sunset with my favorite song playing. It was perfect. I said yes, obviously, and we started planning our wedding for October 2025. The next year was a whirlwind of wedding prep, picking venues, tasting cakes, designing invites. Jake was involved, but not too involved, you know. He'd nod along to my ideas, say, "Whatever makes you happy, babe," and I thought that was sweet. My family adored him. My dad called him son. My mom baked him his favorite cookies, and my best friend Sarah said he was the gold standard. Our friends joked we were the couple they all aspired to be. I was floating. But around 6 months ago, things started feeling weird. Jake was a graphic designer freelancing for a big agency, and he started working late a lot. He'd come home at 10 or 11 p.m. saying he had tight deadlines. I believed him, who wouldn't? But then he got super protective of his phone. He'd angle it away when texting, changed his passcode, and once snapped at me for picking it up to check the time. I asked if something was wrong, and he'd just hug me and say, "Nah, just stressed." I didn't want to be the clingy fiancé, so I let it go. Big mistake. The night everything fell apart 2 weeks ago, on a random Saturday, Jake said he had a client meeting at 8 p.m. I raised an eyebrow, since when do clients meet at a bar on a weekend? But he brushed it off, saying it was a casual pitch. I stayed home, scrolling Pinterest for table centerpieces, sipping wine, and trying to ignore the pit in my stomach. Around 9 p.m., Sarah texted me. Is Jake supposed to be at a bar, RN?" Attached was a screenshot from Instagram, a story posted by Jake's coworker, Emily 26F. It was a blurry group shot at a local bar, but in the background, Jake was unmistakable, arm around a woman, both laughing, her hand on his chest. My heart stopped. I zoomed in. The woman wasn't Emily, it was someone else. Jake's face was lit up in a way I hadn't seen in months. I texted him the screenshot with, "Client meeting, huh?" No reply. I called him straight to voicemail. Sarah told me to stay calm and wait for him to explain, but I was spiraling. I paced our apartment, replaying every late night in my head. By the time Jake stumbled in at 1 a.m., reeking of whiskey and cologne, I was a mess of rage and tears. "What the hell is this?" I shoved my phone in his face. He went pale, stammering about it being just drinks with the team. I wasn't having it. I demanded his phone. He hesitated, which was all the confirmation I needed. After a shouting match, me yelling, him dodging, he finally unlocked it and handed it over. What I found shattered me. Hundreds of texts with Emily, not the woman in the photo, but his coworker. Flirty messages, heart emojis, "Good night, babe" texts. One from a week ago read, "Last night was incredible, can't stop thinking about you." Another, "She's clueless, don't worry." My hands shook as I scrolled through months of this, since Christmas. He'd been cheating while we picked out our wedding cake, while I wrote my vows, while he kissed me goodnight. I felt like I was drowning. The confrontation, I don't even remember everything I said. I was screaming, crying, throwing pillows, wish I'd thrown his laptop. "How could you do this? We're getting married in 2 weeks. Jake just stood there, head down, muttering, "I'm sorry, it didn't mean anything." Didn't mean anything. I asked how far it went. He admitted they'd been sleeping together for 2 months. 2 months of lying to my face, sharing our bed, calling me his future wife while sneaking off with her. I asked who the woman in the photo was. He claimed it was just a friend, but I didn't care anymore. I threw his engagement ring at him. It hit the wall with a satisfying clink and told him to get out. He begged, tears streaming, saying he loved me, it was a mistake. I didn't budge. He grabbed a bag and left. I collapsed on the couch, sobbing until dawn. Our apartment felt like a crime scene, his coffee mug on the counter, our engagement photos on the wall. I couldn't breathe. The fallout the next week was torture. Canceling the wedding was humiliating. I called the venue, the caterer, the florist, choking back tears as I explained. "It's off, he cheated." My parents were devastated. My mom held me while I cried. My dad offered to talk to Jake, code for something less polite. Sarah and my friends took shifts staying with me, bringing ice cream and wine, but I was a zombie. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those texts. I kept wondering, how did I miss this? Was I stupid? Then out of nowhere, Emily messaged me on Instagram. I almost blocked her, but her message was polite. "I owe you an explanation. Can we meet?" I was furious. Why should I give her the time of day? But Sarah convinced me it might help, so I agreed. We met at a quiet coffee shop, and I braced myself for a fight. Instead, Emily looked as broken as I felt. She was nervous, fidgeting with her cup, and started with, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know he was engaged at first." She told me Jake had lied to her, saying we'd broken up last year. He painted me as his crazy ex who wouldn't let go. When she found out about the wedding, through a mutual friend, she confronted him. He swore he was leaving me for her, that the wedding was just for show to appease my family. She showed me their texts, him promising her a future, calling her babe, all while planning our honeymoon. I felt sick, but also validated. Jake wasn't just cheating, he was a master manipulator, playing us both. Emily and I talked for hours. She wasn't the homewrecker I'd imagined, she was just another victim of Jake's lies. We shared stories, laughed bitterly at his recycled lines. "You're my everything" was apparently a favorite. By the end, I didn't hate her. We weren't friends, but we were two women picking up the pieces of Jake's mess. She apologized again, and I believed her. We left with a hug, which I never expected. The revenge plan, I was ready to move on, focus on healing, but then Jake's sister, Mia 27F, called me. Mia and I had always been close. She was supposed to be a bridesmaid. She was livid with Jake, saying he'd crossed a line. She dropped a bombshell. Jake had been bragging to his buddies about having his cake and eating it too. He thought he could keep me as the wifey and Emily as his fun side piece until after the wedding, then decide. He even joked about me never finding out. Mia was done with him and wanted to help me make him face consequences. That's when I snapped out of victim mode. I wasn't going to let Jake waltz away, thinking he'd pulled it off. I didn't want petty revenge, but I wanted him to feel the weight of his actions. Mia and I hatched a plan. First, we gathered evidence. Screenshots of his texts to Emily, his lies to me, even some shady stuff he'd done at work. He'd been fudging client hours to slack off, which Mia knew about from a coworker friend. I didn't go full nuclear and post it online. That's not me. But I sent a professional email to his boss, attaching proof of his unprofessional conduct. I heard through the grapevine that Jake got demoted and is now on thin ice at work. Good, but the real masterpiece, the wedding cancellation party. I was supposed to get married last weekend, and I'd already paid for the venue, DJ, and catering. Instead of letting it go to waste, I turned it into a celebration of my freedom. I invited all our mutual friends, my family, Sarah, and yes, Emily. I wore my wedding dress, it's gorgeous, why not? And we turned the night into an epic bash. The DJ played empowerment anthems like Single Ladies and Survivor. I gave a speech, mic in hand, about how I deserved better, how we all deserved better. People were cheering, crying, dancing. My dad toasted to my strength, and Sarah started a chant. "Screw Jake." Someone made it a hashtag, and by morning, Screw Jake was trending in our friend group's socials, with photos of me in my dress, laughing, surrounded by love. The best part? Emily came. She was hesitant, but we talked beforehand, and I told her I wanted her there, not as the other woman, but as someone who'd been through the same betrayal. She danced with us, and we shared a moment toasting to never letting a Jake ruin us again. It wasn't about forgiving her, it was about reclaiming our power. Jake's reaction: Jake found out about the party through friends' stories. He's been blowing up my phone with voicemails, alternating between groveling, "I messed up, I love you," and whining, "You didn't have to humiliate me." I haven't responded. He even showed up at my apartment, but Sarah was there and told him to leave before I had to deal with him. His friends have started distancing themselves. Turns out, a lot of them were grossed out by his bragging. Mia says he's spiraling, living in a cheap motel and regretting everything. I don't care. He made his bed. Where I'm at now, I'm not okay, not really. I loved Jake with my whole heart, and losing that future hurts like hell. Our apartment still feels haunted, his old hoodie in the closet, our photos in a box I can't open. But I'm trying. I started therapy last week, and it's helping me process the betrayal. My friends have been incredible, planning girls' nights and sending me silly memes to keep me smiling. Emily and I text occasionally, not besties, but a weird kind of solidarity. I'm even thinking of selling the apartment and starting fresh somewhere new. The party went viral in our circle. And I've gotten DMs from strangers saying my story inspired them to leave toxic relationships. That feels good, like something beautiful came out of this mess. But I'm scared. Can I trust again? Will I always wonder if the next guy is another Jake? And did I go too far with the party and the email to his boss? I didn't want to ruin his life, just make him face reality. Reddit, what do you think? Was I too harsh, or did he get what he deserved? And how do I keep moving forward without this breaking me? TLDR. Found out my fiancé was cheating with his coworker 2 weeks before our wedding. Canceled the wedding, bonded with the other woman, exposed his lies to his boss, and threw a wedding cancellation party that went viral with Screw Jake. Trying to heal but struggling. Need advice on what I did and how to move on. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.